more. We're going to start by introducing the 2016 World Champion of Trackmania, coming from Great Britain, also 2 second places in the World Championship, and a Trackmania Grand League Championship to his name. Please welcome to the stage, Pack. And Pack, you did win your first match here backstage. How did it feel to finally be getting into the tournament now after weeks of practice?
I don't know, it's been nice to just finally get here to do it. I mean, the week has been amazing so far, and you know, I've been looking forward to the tournament now, and it was nice to get a win straight away.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean, get settled. Let's see if you can keep that up for match number 2 here.
Yes. Next, we have a familiar face, the person that got second place in the last round here on stage. Welcome back, Bren. Okay, you have good momentum going in here, getting second place in the last match. Do you think you can clutch it out and go home with a first place here against these opponents?
I'll try to. I know that my opponents are as good as before, so anything could happen, but I'll try my best to win.
I believe in you. Can we give a hand to Bren as well?
Next up, we have a young talent from Poland who got 3rd in his first match here, but is looking to make a strong comeback. He did get 3rd place in the Comic-Con LAN that happened earlier this year. Please give it up for Deska. Now, Deska, it is one of your first LAN experiences. You had the Comic-Con earlier this season, but how is it like to play against such a vibrant crowd now on the stage?
Well, I would say it just feels amazing. There is nothing more to that, I would say.
Well, enjoy it. You get to play against some of the other best players in the world, and hopefully you can clutch out a win. We are rooting for you here in the stadium.
And now it is my pleasure to also present Spam, the 28-year-old Dutch player playing for Alliance, truly one of the OGs of Trackmania, won the World Championship in 2012, and 10 years later is still able to face off on this competition. Welcome in, Spam! So, Spam, just saying, you come from the flat country of the Netherlands, and now you end up here in the mountains of Meløy. How does it feel seeing the nature here?
It's my first time all the way up north, and it's just amazing. The scenery is just beautiful, and yeah, mind-blowing.
That's amazing. Give a hand for Spam. Get a sit down.
And with our players now settled into the PCs, we are about to get into it. Match number 2 out of 4 on the day. And Jnic, some quick predictions here for the match. Who do you have as your potential winner here?
So I did see that Bren played really well in the last match. That's the last match we spectated. But going in with a victory, I believe that Pack has a lot of momentum that he can pull through in this match.
Pack, a good choice. I think Bren now with the stage experience from one match might be able to carry that over, so Bren would be my choice for winning this match. But we will see. You can make your predictions. We are moments away from getting into it. One last round of applause here for match number 2, and then we will start the action. So once again, the map order will be known when the players have gotten ready. The maps are, of course, randomly in order, and if we start with this one with the quarter pipe jumps, we could get off to a fiery start. It's quite hard to get consistent on this from the get-go.
We did see the players on this map last time where they definitely had some issues, both in the ending but also on the first quarter pipe jump. It is a very technical track where the positions are going to be stirred up multiple times.
Yeah, and you saw in the end just how much it matters to go low on those jumps. It's kind of like a game of limbo, how low you dare to go. And, well, sometimes it can come back to bite you.
But it is definitely a high risk, high reward. Because one mistake, clipping that corner, and you're going to be behind by a second.
Absolutely. So just to recap on the standings here before we start. Pack did win his first match. He has 4 points. Bren got second place. He has 3 points right now. Spam also got second place in his match, and he got 3 points for that. And Deska, with his third place, got 2 points. So all these players have actually gotten off to a great start. It's now to see who can keep it up. And also, with all the players playing backstage, they kind of need to, because only half the field makes it to day 2.
And that's the thing. And 3 out of the 4 players here is their first time playing on this stage. So as you've said, Bren might have a small advantage already getting used to the stage, used to the crowd, used to all of you guys hyping us up here on stage for the Arctic Gaming experience.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know? It's been a long time coming with this event. From the very inception of it, over a year and a half ago, I think, Jnic wanted to host this tournament. Now we're here, and we're underway, and it's a joy. So let's just you know, live in the moment while it's here and see some of the world's best Trackmania players fight for a great prize.
I've said to you that this is my favorite map to spectate because of all of the mistakes that can happen and stir-ups in the field. Do you have a preferred map?
Yeah, I think the one with a lot of precision, the one which is just, you know, you're always moments away from crashing, with the very difficult ending jump. I think it was map 4 in the previous match. And that one is just, for me as a Trackmania player, a joy to watch, because I know that even I, as someone who plays the game a lot, would struggle to do that reliably every time. And it really does feel like you get a new level of respect for the players when you see them deliver so consistently on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That map is definitely what I would also consider the most difficult of the bunch. And seeing the players be so consistent and so close to the corners, calculating every single turn, it is a pleasure to watch. Absolutely.
It really is. And of course, we have the 3 other maps where we saw, you know, there were some maps where Carl Jr., he won 7 rounds in a row. Yeah. And then there were others where, you know, the others took away almost all the rounds. So it can really matter which order they arrive in, but you got to be ready for
Yeah, that's the thing.
Get.
3 out of the 4 players, we haven't seen how they compete on these maps, so we don't know which of these are the favorites from the 3 other players here. So it's going to be interesting to see just where the point differences are going to start to occur.
Yeah, and we do, of course, have the seeding results where we saw Pack. He did get second place, looking like one of the fastest players overall, but there's also the consistency. Can he do that in rounds? We're about to start. The players have now typed good luck, have fun in the chat, a common custom to do before you get into things, but that's when you know. After you type those words, it's like full focus. You're right into it. And we're loading onto map number 1 here. It's going to be the same start as last time.
And this is where we saw Carl Jr. get 5 out of 5 victories on last game. Let's see if there's anybody else that has that amount of consistency to be able to push themselves in an early lead here on map 1.
And it looks like we're starting with Meløy. We're going to Buda, which is your favorite map.
Yes.
Then we have Arctic with the ice. Salmon, the precision map with the fishes. And then my favorite map might be the decider in this second match here. So one last warm-up for the players to get fully settled in, and then we get into the action. But already you can see here in the warm-up, they are right next to each other all the way.
And that's the thing, we've actually talked about this, especially during World Cup, that some players prefer not to warm up.
Yeah.
Some players will sit down and breathe in slowly, really get ready for the match, because they don't want to accidentally make a mistake in the warm-up where they can get out of the zone, you know?
There's like levels you can go at in this game, and I mean, for example, there's a player called Mura who refuses to drive the warm-up because he has such a set muscle memory of the map that he doesn't want to disturb it. Mm-hmm. He just wants to hold on to that feeling of playing the map perfectly in practice and just driving it live. He doesn't want to do anything to mess up.
But everybody has their ritual. It's like when you wake up in the morning. What's the first thing you do? Do you take a shower or do you brush your teeth? Do you do them both at once, right? Like you have
That's weird.
That's not weird. Like,
that's pretty weird.
Brushing teeth in the
shower? Yeah.
In the shower, it's fine. It's fine.
Now, what are you going to do if, you know, it lands in your socks? In the Jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, we have begun the second match here. Bren, Pack, Deska, and Spam off to the races now to see who will claim the most points. The format, once again, we play until we reach 120 points. And then, after reaching 120 points, you need to win one last round to secure your spot. And that turned out to be more difficult than you might have thought in the previous round where everyone was clawing at it.
Yes, absolutely. The pressure of getting that finalist position is real. And clutching out that final victory can be one of the hardest things you do here on stage. But as of right now, here on the first round, Pack is kind of pushing away from the rest of the field. Spam and Deska trying to fight for that second place. But as of right now, Pack is about 0.2 ahead of his opposition going into the final left-hander before he gets the exit speed, trying to jump into the risky finish over here. He does execute it well, and Pack will take home the first victory.
And a great time to start us off. We saw in the previous match, players win with times of 1 minute and 800, 1 minute and 600. A 1 minute and 10 in the first round is a fantastic time. Deska picks up second there, Spam in third, and Bren fourth.
So Pack does have a good start to the round here. He also seemed to have a really strong pace compared to the others. There's Spam with a mistake in the start, unfortunately not getting the right line on the dirt, sending his front left wheel into the air, and Deska also with a wall hit, and it's now going to be between Pack and Bren to see who can take home this next 10-pointer.
Yeah, shows there how quickly things can go wrong. It starts to snowball in the wrong direction. A quick mistake on the lineup leads to a bit too wide, leads to the next turn where your car is off the track. So here, Bren and Pack now, the two players that we have predicted might do well here, and we'll see which one can come out ahead. Pack barely staying alive there.
As we can see, Pack went really inside on that black plastic part, and that's because the curvature of the surface pushes his car into the next section of the map, and that gave him even more speed so he can close home another first place.
And it's another good time, 1/100 of a second slower than what he drove previously. Looks like he's able to dish out that consistently, and I'm seeing some Carl Jr.-esque vibes already. You know, Carl started with 7 wins last time. Pack's gotten up to 2.
He's gotten 2, but let's take a look at the other players here. Second, third, and fourth are only 1 point away from each other.
Yep.
They are so close. Nothing is over yet. Pack has shown a great start, though.
And I think the good thing about this format is, like, you can make a mistake. It's not like a Cup of the Day where if you crash, then you're out. You get to make a mistake and come back from it, and we see a complete flip right now. It is Bren and Pack, who were the top 2 last time, that are now bottom 2, and Deska and Spam up there fighting for the win. So it's always, you can make a mistake, you get a chance to come back, but over time, you gotta deliver consistently, and Bren and Pack right now making it a very exciting race as they take over the lead, and we are going back and forth all the way. Let's go to the plastic where, again, you'll see Pack go all the way down to try to build up the speed for the uphill. The others now left trailing a little bit behind the Englishman. 1 drift left, and then the dirt setup where Bren actually carries more speed. This could be close to the finish line here. Bren looking to carry a bit more up to the finish line. Might he snipe it? Oh!
So Bren unfortunately hitting the side of the finish right there. But the reason he did that is because he had a more straight line going into the finish. He really tried to snipe it in the ending, pushing out that really risky line, and unfortunately hitting the right side of the finish right there.
I respect the risk.
Yeah,
I respect going for it. When you hear it's close, when you know your opponent's right there, to go all in. It does take some guts to go for that instead of securing a 6-pointer. And Bren is showing tendencies that he wants to win, but here eats another mistake and is going to have to wait for his next opportunity as 3 players remain in this round.
So Bren can take this time to settle down, breathe in, and reset his mindset. He needs to get back into the game right here because these mistakes, as he has said, he made some silly mistakes and he wants to get rid of those. So I think now what he's going to do is he's going to sit down, drive the rest of the map, reset his mindset, and come back stronger next round.
Absolutely would be a good idea to do. Pack again low on the plastic. This is a part he's consistently gained in. By doing that line, you can see the others are carrying a bit more speed with their setup, but the difference remains. Inside line here, though, Pack will have more speed to work with, and he should be able to hold on to that lead. As we say that, he clipped the block, and that's
Spam taking home the 10-pointer, the 28-year-old Dutch player, oldest one on stage right now, showing us that even though you're getting a little bit up in age, does not mean you cannot compete on the highest level.
Yeah, Spam still has all the experience, and perhaps even more experience than all the other players in this field combined when it comes to stage play. He's been, consistently one of the best Trackmania players for the past 10 years. Earlier this year, actually announced his retirement from professional play, that he didn't want to keep going at the top league for much longer, but we see him here once again in this tournament, and though that was a mistake, it is very amazing what Spam can do still after all these years.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Deska and Pack, and this could be a very good opportunity for Deska to get some very needed points right here, but facing off against Pack here on a one-on-one can be very difficult as Pack gets way more exit speed on the transition, and that's what we talked about. When you go from, oh, Deska with a small mistake, but when you go from grass to road, the angle that you enter it with, the drift that you enter it with, will determine what speed you get. And there, Pack just showed us exactly how it's done going into the final jump, and Pack, once again, will take home 10 points.
Amazing stuff there from Pack, and what a time as well. 59, the first 59 we've seen on this map in the match. That is amazing stuff.
And that was the first 5 rounds, I believe, here. Pack coming home with 43 out of 50 possible points. That is a very, very strong start coming in from Pack.
That's a statement in the first map here. We're gonna go to map number 2, which is, well, actually my favorite, the most difficult map, I would argue, in the map pack. Here, consistency is gonna be more important than ever because you're gonna see more mistakes. It's just a harder map to drive.
It's an incredibly difficult map to drive. This map has a lot of tiny little corners that you can hit with your front wheels. Like right here, you can accidentally clip this corner. Right up here, there's another one where you can accidentally hit the side of the road. There are so many small intricacies right here. You need to get right in between the pillars, as we see one of the players actually hit the pillar right there. There's so many small sections of the map that doesn't look like it, but are really, really deadly.
Yeah, every part here you need to have laser focus, and this is the type of map where I think the players sometimes can forget to blink because you're just intensely staring at the car, making sure it will get past every obstacle without fail. And it's a very intense map to play, but it also is one of the best looking when they play it. But here in the warm-up, half the field have crashed, and you still have this difficult ending jump right at the last part where you have to get up on the platform and into the ring. So this is going to be tough.
I think this map is also amazing for the people watching from home that have a lot of Trackmania experience, because they can definitely tell that the difficulty of this map is something else. And they would, I think everybody who watches from home would have a serious task ahead of them if they were trying to drive this.
I mean, we have the 16 best players on these maps in the world here on the stage and backstage, so it's tough to beat these guys, that's for sure. Spam with an early mistake, but Pack, Deska, and Bren are pushing on. Early release there for Bren as he realizes he was not on the correct trajectory, but Pack here is keeping the pressure up from map 1, where he got 43 out of 50. Could look to get another win starting off the round here, as he's 2 tenths ahead of Deska, and Bren has fallen 1 second behind.
Yeah, 2 tenths ahead is nothing to scoff at here. Pack extending his lead, trying to make sure that he has room enough to save the finish, I think. So Pack is going to go into the last right-hander right here and then jump into this section where you have to hit the last platform to get into the finish. Pack once again making this 10 points, getting to him.
And an amazing time again, like he is in the flow right now, 57.89, the world record here, right around the 57.70 mark. So yeah, you can see the other players calling out nice time in the chat. They know this is going to be very tough to keep up with.
Yeah, that's, if you look at the chat at the bottom left, the players will sometimes write down NT, which is a nice time for the round. Sometimes they will write down GR, which stands for great round. Or good round.
Good race.
Good race, it could also be. So the players, there's definitely this éthique coming in from the pro players here.
But I think once you're at this level, you have such respect for the others that are at it too. Because you know, like this took me 10,000 hours, and the precision, I can't really push much further than this. And that's why you find such respect for the others that are able to do it too. Because you know all the work that's behind leading up to this moment. And here, Pack versus Bren in the end. Pack a little bit ahead, but Bren has more speed down this hill, and this advantage carries him all the way up until this corner where he's still right around that one car length behind, trying to get more exit speed out of the dirt here perhaps. The last jumps are coming up. Pack still holding the lead. This is for the 10-pointer, and Pack with that inside line will take that one again, continuing the win streak.
Pack is really showing some dominance right here. He is definitely showing us that he is a force to be reckoned with, getting 63 points, almost doubling the points of all of his opponents right now.
Yeah, and you can tell perhaps how he was able to win the match backstage. If he plays like this, there are very few that can keep up with it reliably. And the question that you kind of pose to Pack is how long can he keep this up? Because the other players have personal bests that are faster than the times he drives, but that would take an amazing risk to go for. They would have to go past their limit every time, basically, and there's a limit to how many times you can do that without crashing.
Yeah, we talked about this several times. Consistency can be more important than pace, and Pack is showing us that he is so consistent on these maps. But as I say that, Bren is now in a solid lead, and Pack has made a mistake.
Yeah, it was a moment of time, matter of time, because it's just not feasible to drive that every time unless you are a robot or a humanoid. Here, Bren is carrying the lead as we will see if he can hold it all the way to the finish. Deska and Spam chasing for that second place. It will be Spam to take second and Deska in third. And Bren driving an even faster time.
Bren driving a really strong time at 57.8 and also getting much needed 10 points right here, jumping up to second place, getting even closer to Pack. Really important for the other players to get Pack down there to fourth place so they can kind of catch up a little bit, because getting too far ahead too early can be both demoralizing for the other players, but it's also this huge momentum that you give your opponent.
Ooh, yeah, it is. We see Deska with a small mistake there, but Pack has been building up this lead right now, and one mistake he can afford, two mistakes he can afford, but he just needs to not let that get to him and keep doing what he has been doing, because clearly it's working. One win on the day, another win here gives him 8 points out of 8 possible, and that could already be very close to reaching playoffs. So Pack's certainly on something right now. Another lead in this first half of the round with Bren and Spam 3/10 behind here. Oh!
We have a small mistake there coming in from Bren, and now Spam is the only one who can deny Pack that 10-pointer. But Pack seems to be in a solid lead, almost 0.3 ahead of Spam, and now there's only one jump separating him from 10 more points. Spam, unfortunately, with a mistake, and he's going to have to reset, jumping all the way down to last place.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Spam. That is 3 points lost, potentially, as we see Bren picking up second despite the mistake, so he can be pretty happy with that. He's not losing his second place in the overall standings.
True. Pack, though, getting up near that 100-point mark. He could get there in the next 3 games if he maintains this pace. Deska, with a little bit of airtime, unfortunately has to slow down, gets behind the rest of the field. Pack, once again, getting up in front, but Spam and Bren are right behind.
Do you know, Deska, the interesting thing is Deska's best style is dirt, and there's really not a lot of dirt on this map. You have 1 or 2 corners like this where you can drive on dirt, but it's not like you can gain precious time with it. So Deska's really just biding his time, I think, waiting for a map with more dirt where he can deliver a punch, because he is one of the world's best dirt players specifically, but in the technical styles, he can quickly lose some time. We see Spam with a mistake. That means Bren and Pack are battling for this final 10-pointer on the map. Again, just one car link between the two, but Pack looks like he has the grips on this round. Bren's going to go low, though, carrying a lot of speed, but it will be Pack that takes another 10 points here.
This is, once again, a pretty dominant showing here from the first-place player. We saw it last time with Carl Jr. in the first match, and now we see it with Pack here in the second. It's interesting to see where it is Carl Jr. who plays here on the second match behind the stage right now.
Yeah, you might wonder. I mean, I think Carl has a tendency to say, like, he doesn't want to, you know, put too high pressure on himself with the top 8, but anytime there's an event, he delivers, and the same you can see with Pack. They're just such great competitors, and they know to perform when it matters, and that's why they've also won World Championships, both of them in the past. So, yeah, I think Carl Jr. is going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the event, and it looks like he might reach playoffs.
But once again here we're going to Border. This is once again my favorite map, as there is kind of a clean line throughout all of the map. It's not too hectic, it doesn't look too technical, but all the precision that you can put into this map really makes it a very interesting fight between the players.
It does, and you can see just how close it is in the warm-up. There's slightly different lines you can do here, but the best equation, you could say, to playing the map is kind of figured out. That's why you see such similar approaches like in the grass jump here. And then, of course, the ending where it's a game of limbo. How low do you dare to go on this jump into the finish? That is the question you have to ask yourself. Do you try to save it and make sure you get there, or do you go extra low and try to win?
But you said this thing about the map already being kind of figured out, which is true. The players, they know what to do. But what I like about this map is that even though they know what to do, executing it, going for the lowest jumps, that is the difficult part. They know what they have to do, but doing it is a whole different beast.
And then doing it live on stage in the tournament, in front of the crowd, cheering them on, is another beast entirely. Give it up for the players here. They're putting on a massive show. They're trying their best to get to day 2 here and potentially win. As we see Pack looking the most poised to do so right now. But as we saw in match 1, you can still go all the way and make it a triple or even quadruple finalist.
That is true. We actually have multiple players having really close points to each other. So a double or triple finalist is absolutely nothing that we can say no to. But Pack, once again, in the front of the field, Bren right behind. Can Pack maintain the lead here going into the last section? Bren going a little bit more inside, trying to catch up right here, and actually takes over first place. Is Bren going to go for a low line in the final section here with the jump? Is he going to be able to make it into the finish here, or will Pack snipe it? He almost gets it, but Pack hits the corner, and Bren takes it home.
Bren with the 10 points there. Spam in second. Pack third, actually. So Spam overtook one, and Deska gets fourth. An amazing time by Bren, too. A 56.7 is what we saw as the winning pace in previous rounds as well, and that really sets the bar for the next 4 rounds to come.
Yes, and as we could see right there, sometimes even though the players, they are going for the same lines, the execution can give such a huge mistake coming in there from, was it Deska, I think, unfortunately hitting the checkpoint. And if you do that, that can be very dangerous because you might risk not getting any points in the round.
Yeah, the problem is if you crash a checkpoint directly, then the respawn from the checkpoint is going to be bad. It's just going to put you in this endless crashing loop. So we'll see if Deska recovers. Looks like he only lost 2 seconds. Will be able to secure 4th place at least, but will not be able to battle for this win. In Trackmania, even just losing half a second can be enough to put you far behind. So here we see Bren and Pack again in the top 2. Bren had a great jump last time, looking to do the same now. It's about a 10th of a gap for Pack in the lead. Bren going in the inside on the grass, and now how low can he go? Pack will be able to take it and keep that lead.
But importantly also for Deska is that he was able to hit that finish line, because 3 points doesn't seem like a lot, but it's actually very important, because if that happens multiple times, you might be 1 or 2 full rounds behind.
Yeah, here he stays level with Spam, but you also see Bren has gotten a bit of a point gap down to 3rd and 4th, as we saw in the previous round as well. And now we have to see if that stage experience that he has from playing that match, if that is coming through, if the comfort of being up there on the PCs is shining. We will see into the quarter pipe jump now, as Deska has finally gotten off to a good start. Can he hold on to the lead? Good jump across.
Yeah, and we have the players being really close to each other, but good seeing Deska here in front. Hopefully he's going to be able to maintain that pace, but Pack is right behind him, trying to overtake, going for an inside line. Pack might be getting a better line right there, and now it's going to be 3 players against each other, and it's all going to be up to the final limbo jump. Deska getting a little bit of a slowdown there in the ending, and who's going to get the lowest jump right here? Is it going to be Pack or is it going to be Bren? Both of them crash to finish, but Bren gets it. That is so close.
Oh, they both crashed the inside corner, and that is just physics helping Bren a little bit there on the way. 10 points taken for him. But you see Pack now, he's approaching the point limit. 106, 14 points left to go. He could very likely hit that 120-point mark on this map.
But as we could see, the players, they both knew they were neck and neck. So they both knew, if I don't go for the lowest jump that I can push through, I'm not going to get the first place. And they both just happened to crash. But I guess you could say that Bren was better at crashing.
Yeah, he just was better at hitting the finish. That's true. Outskilled there in the end.
Yeah, honestly, a crash issue?
Yeah, crash issue, certainly. Here in the round, though, Bren hoping to carry that momentum. He is in first now, so, and actually a solid lead for him as well. 11 hundredths down to Pack. It's the most solid lead he's had all map long here. Now Pack has to try to find the speed that Bren found last round. It looks like he's catching a little bit across the grass patch. This time Pack clips it, and Bren will have a very good lead going into that last jump. Perhaps no need to risk for him, as it looks like he secures it. And the positions remain: Pack in second, Spam third, and Deska fourth.
And take a look at the points now. Bren is really this is such a good map for Bren, it looks like. He is catching up to Pack, only 22 points behind now.
Yeah, and he still has 1 round to go. If he makes sure to win here, then Pack does not hit Finalist. Pack needs to get first, but Pack has already hit the outside dirt wall there, costing him a second, and a win should be very unlikely to happen. So 3 players to battle for it now. And we are going across this engine off block here. The players cannot accelerate, they just roll to the next checkpoint. And it is Bren in the lead. Deska and Spam are able to keep up, but a really good setup there for Bren. Carrying that speed on the grass, barely steering at all, just letting the car slide at high momentum. And look at the gap he's building up here. Bren, dominant on this map. Once again, with Pack nowhere in sight, you can see just how clean the lines are up front. He's gained about 3/10, but Deska is closing the gap ever so slightly. Though Bren here with a good ending should be able to secure another 10 points. Deska's not giving up yet. He's gonna challenge him for it. Nothing to lose by going for a low jump here on the limbo, but Bren holds on and takes the 10 points.
This was a huge map for Bren. Getting all the way back, and also Pack here, getting last place is incredibly important. Pack is not even secured on getting Finalist next round if he gets last position once again. And Bren is now getting really close to making it a double Finalist situation.
He could get there. I mean, Pack here needs a first or a second now to secure Finalist on Arctic. If he doesn't do that, then Bren gets 1 more round to build points, and he could really be right up there with Pack when they hit the 120 mark. But they do have to deny Pack first or second, which is really tough to do on a map like this.
Absolutely. This map, once again, is the first map that features an ice section where the players will be drifting on the ice to put themselves in a trajectory where they get the most amount of exit speed. We also get faced with a very high vertical jump.
Yeah, the quarter pipe jump up, you're gonna see it right here. It's a bit different from the other ones because you cannot really see the landing area. You kind of have to know it's right up there, hit the wall, and carry the speed down. And now you have the ice. Player's gonna turn sideways, turn opposite of the direction they're steering, and try to carry that slide through. Pack showing here why it's difficult to do, as when you put the car sideways like this, you can quickly lose grip.
So the thing that happens is that the car will all of a sudden stop having grip on the ice. Not to go into too much detail, but it has to do with the gearing system in the game, and the players are obviously professional. They know all of the mechanics, but even if you're a pro player, adjusting to an ice slide like that can be incredibly difficult.
And what you want to do is, like, you want to try to get as close to that limit as possible, because you want the tightest turn, but you don't want it to lose grip and slide out. So you're playing right with the limit to get the best turn there.
It's the high risk, high reward that we've talked about so many times. And when is it more important to risk? When is it more important to be safe? It's the thing that the players are constantly battling with.
It is, as we hear some triumphant cheers from the backstage. Something's gone right, apparently, for some players. We'll take a look at that after the match concludes. Of course, 2 early mistakes here in round 1 of Arc, and importantly, Pack is one of the players that made a mistake. So if Bren and Deska can hold these top 2 positions, then Bren is going to get ever closer, as Pack is still not Finalist. Nothing said for certain, though. Can Deska make it up the jump? Oh, he's not going to hit it. Oh, he keeps it. But it's going to cost him the positions. He's down into 4th now, and Spam will hold that 2nd place. But Pack, if he catches up to Spam here, will get over 120 and will get that Finalist spot.
Yeah, Spam holds the key for Pack's Finalist position, but Pack did make a small mistake there on the dirt uphill, and it looks like he's going to be even further behind. Spam on a secured 2nd place, but Bren in a fantastic 1-second lead.
Yeah, and this is super interesting. Great round for Bren. He puts himself at 110, meaning that if Bren wins the next round, he gets Finalist the same time as Pack does. They're both going to be at that 120 mark.
Yeah, Pack has now put himself in a spot where he has been secured Finalist next round. He will get final, unless he doesn't finish the map at all, of course. But let's assume that he does. He will be finalist next round. So for now, it's up to Bren to see if he can win this round and push himself up to that double finalist.
Deska crashing that first drift this time, and it's a 3-player battle. So for Bren, that's maybe good, as Deska was one of the only players able to keep up with the start last time. But now, Bren makes the mistake in that turn, and Pack might get one undisturbed round as finalist if he gets to the finish intact, and Spam with a good opportunity to get a 10-pointer here as well to keep the grips of that third, and maybe even challenge for top 2 in the bigger picture. Getting through the ice slide now, both players carrying the grip down the hill into the dirt uphill. You want to stay far on the outside of the turn here to build up speed. Pack holding that lead, even extending by a few hundredths across each turn here. And he's not only going to get finalists, it looks like he's going to deny all the other players some points as he secures first place here in this round. There it is. Bren, though, taking the second place. Spam in third and Deska in fourth.
A nice snipe coming in there from Bren in the ending, and that is an important one, putting himself up to 116. Now he can finish both third or fourth to still make it into that finalist position.
All eyes on Pack now. He won the first match of the day. Backstage, he's now on stage playing like a menace, has gotten to the 120-point mark very quickly. Can he win here in his first attempt at the finalist?
Bren taking the lead, though. He is truly trying to deny Pack right now, but they are so close, nothing can be said yet. Going wide here on the dirt turn, setting up for the exit speed here. Let's see who gets the lowest line on the wall ride. Pack going a little bit higher than the others, and we're going into the second half of the match.
Oh, and Bren with an inside line. Does he hold the grip? He does. That is very risky to go for, but the risk pays off. Look at the lead he accumulated in that one turn alone. Spam hitting the outside wall. It is only Bren standing between Pack and victory, but it is half a second that differentiates the two, and Bren can hold on to this. He just needs to survive the grass turns and get good speed for the ending. Pack is going to lie in wait, hoping for a mistake. Bren released, and the gap is shrinking, but Bren holds on, secures the win, and they are both finalists.
Double finalist situation again, Wirtual.
It just gets better and better.
It just gets better and better. These players are really giving us a show for the money. I mean, right now it could be the final round to determine who's going to get first place.
It really could, and Pack has had that one attempt to shake loose a little bit, to think, okay, I just got to do what I am used to doing now. As we see a mistake from Deska again, that first drift, very difficult for him to get past here, to get the rhythm for it. And now Spam is the only player that can make it so that we won't have a winner in this round, as it looked like Bren almost made a mistake, but he stays alive in the battle, though in third here, and Pack with a good opportunity now.
Pack really showed us a great drift right there, pushing himself ahead of his opposition. Bren getting a little bit of a lower line, overtaking Spam. Let's see who gets the best exit speed out of the ice. Pack, unfortunately, hitting some of that penalty snow, and Bren now putting himself into first place. Really nice left-handed uphill there coming in from Bren. Pack has made a mistake, and Spam is now the only one who can deny Bren the victory. Is he going to be able to do so? Final grass section before the right-hander, and Bren is going to remain in the lead. One more jump into the finish. Is Bren going to take it home? He is! Bren takes home the 4 points.
On his first finalist attempt, he makes the comeback happen. I mean, I think earlier in the match he was 30, 40 points behind Pack, and then he played a fantastic Buddha, and he secures the win here. Amazing for Bren in the second match.
Absolutely amazing performance there from Bren. Pack, unfortunately, with a slight mistake halfway through the map, giving his opponent the opportunity, and Bren did truly take that opportunity and use it to the fullest.
He did, but now Pack, you have to imagine that this second place is his to rights, as he is well over 30 points ahead of his opponents and needs to just find one of these victories. Could be his very first one here after Bren closed out his match. We'll see though. Spam makes a mistake on the jump. Deska is going to be the one to try to deny him here.
Yeah, Spam unfortunately hitting that corner, allowing Deska and Pack to take the lead. Pack currently trying to close it out. He is alone in front, about 2 car lengths ahead of Deska. Deska needs to be able to push it here in the final corners or hope for Pack to make a mistake, but he unfortunately hits the corner, and Pack is now going to be all alone. He only needs to hit the finish, and he's going to take home 3 points.
And Pac gets the second place here. A really good performance regardless. The level was crazy high for both of these players. And I think they can be happy with first and seconds.
Absolutely. First and second is amazing. And now they both have a victory. They both have a second place. And they've both put themselves in a very strong position to qualify for tomorrow's matches.
They do. And we are going into a 1 versus 1 here to decide third and fourth between Deska and Spam. And I think it's an interesting dynamic because it's one veteran who's been around in the pro scene for as long as most of the players now can remember. And you have Deska, who's just entering the scene, who started off as just being a dirt player and then has moved on to, getting more all-rounded with all the other styles as well. So we will see now, it's kind of this battle with the young versus the old.
Absolutely. Now, when you say the young versus the old, I guess I kind of have to cheer a little bit here for Spam, as I am not the youngest Trackmania player to ever exist, but I can see that Spam is representing and showing that even though you are a veteran, you can still show up.
You can, absolutely. I think the match experience, as we talked about, the consistency and knowing your limits is something you learn over all those years. Whereas Deska, we saw a lot of mistakes, for example, in that one tech corner where he couldn't quite figure out the rhythm, and that's something that can, punish you if you don't have as much experience overall. And we see Spam going into this 1v1, he does have a 10-point advantage. They're still playing to the 120 mark, but it's going to go fast because you can either get 10 or 6 points every round. So they're going to trade back and forth. But here within the warm-up, you can already see how close it is. Looks like Deska will barely win that warm-up and giving us a bit of a preview on what's to come.
Yeah, that ending can be very risky because you want as much exit speed out of the uphill as possible to even make it to that risky finish.
Yeah, and I think that's something we haven't touched on, but the maps, they do have 2 finishes. They have a risky finish, which is the one we see players go for because it's the fastest. But you also have the safe finish. And sometimes, in rare situations where your opponent crashes, you want to go for the safe one and just not take any, risk at all.
And it's also because the maps are built so calculated that if you don't get the perfect line, you're not going to have enough speed to even make it to the finish. And then there is an extra finish you can go for, so you have the opportunity to get some points.
Yeah, but interesting, in the start we mentioned Deska, the dirt player. He actually has a different line from Spam there, and it looks like he gained about a 1/10 of a second, and that is something he can use now for 5 rounds in a row, and I don't think Spam is using that, whether it's for the risk of it or just for the knowledge of it, but Deska is holding that 1/10 of a lead all the way into the second half of the map. That's only accrued from there, and now can he gain even more to secure a win here and get closer to Spam on the scoreboard? Spam's going to try his best here in the ending. A late setup means a wide line up the dirt hill for Deska. Now carrying the speed though, and that should be Deska winning the round, taking the first 10 points.
And as we can see right there, Spam recognizing the speed wasn't there, jumping into the safe finish to make sure that he got some points in his name. And he still remains ahead, so still in a very, very strong position right here.
But now let's take a look at that Deska dirt line, because it might be something you didn't spot, but here in the first turn, Deska goes a little bit wider than Spam and will then carry more speed up to the grass platform here, where he goes on an inside trajectory. And that is alone about 500ths of a second in the setup. Here, though, Spam is able to fight back with great exit speed, and suddenly you might not be too sure what's the fastest strategy. It looks like they're about equal.
Yeah, but that's because, people have their advantages and disadvantages. Deska is obviously a great dirt and grass player. Spam comes back with his tech mastery, and that's going to be why the players are going to be bouncing back and forth here on the positions, giving us a great show.
Oh, look at that outside line, the exit speed for Deska, and the setup. That's beautiful. Here, gaining a 10th on Spam and taking the reins for this race could make it equal with a win. They would be dead even on the points. Jumping into the turn, very aggressive Spam. Hitting the inside corner means Deska will have a free shot at this, but he hits the pillar, and suddenly it's not that clear.
Spam has enough speed to overtake, taking this.
Takes it.
He takes it with the safe finish. 10 points goes to Spam, and he now has crossed the 100-point threshold, 13 points away from the finalists.
Yeah, important win for Spam there to remain ahead. And I think a lot of players, especially new players, would think, oh, I crashed, I'm out. But Spam, he's going to drive until the race is over. You never know what can happen. And a mistake like that, because he kept driving and trying to do the optimal lines after the crash, he secures a win, a very important win.
Absolutely true. The question is, can he maintain the wins? If he gets 2 first places or just 1 first place, he secured the... Oh, with a mistake there, hitting the pillar. And now Deska has free roam to take this home. If he can maintain a decent pace and just drive into the finish, he is about 1.5 seconds ahead of Spam, but one mistake could change the setup again.
So I will say, and I say this a lot, but when you're ahead like this, it can actually be a bit more difficult. Because you know you have the lead. You know you have a massive advantage. There should be nothing stopping you from taking this win. And then you start to second guess yourself, like, okay, let me go a bit safer in this turn. Let me do this a bit differently so I don't crash. And you're going off of your consistent rhythm. And if you do that enough, you can start to make mistakes you otherwise wouldn't if you just drove the map as usual. But here, Deska is showing massive control. He takes that win, safe and secure, and keeps himself in the match.
And now Spam is still 1 victory away from putting himself in that finalist position, but Deska is getting really close here.
Yeah, they could hit finalists the same round. It actually looks like they will, unless Spam wins this round, they will get finalists the same time.
But yeah, 6 points separating the players. And yeah, if Deska denies Spam, he denies him that finalist position, and they're going into a double finalist here in 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's going to be coming down to these last few races here. Looks like Deska got the lead into this round with a great start on the dirt there, and Spam avoids the mistake he made previously, so has adapted his racing line. Now into this 180 turn, have to carry good speed here. This is the round where Bren nearly lost last time, where he couldn't get that in the moment where it mattered, but Deska is holding on.
Yeah. Deska really going for the outside line there on the dirt bank turn, which pushes him a little bit ahead of Spam as the turn pushes his car forwards in the right direction. And now Deska is setting himself up for a really strong chance at getting 10 points home and denying Spam that finalist position. And it looks like he's going to be able to. Spam really trying to push it hard, but is he going to have the speed to make it? Unfortunately not. Deska has denied Spam the finalist, and now no matter how the players finish this next round, they're both going to be finalists.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, there are 119 and 117 points. The least you can get is 6. So this is really a round that doesn't matter for more than perhaps momentum, right?
This is honestly a warm-up round for them,
yeah,
right?
they just get a small break now to, you know, prepare themselves, because they both know, like, yeah, we're going to go back to the first map to settle it. And on that map, I cannot remember if it was Deska or Spam that did the best, but I think they both had some issues.
I think after the first round, all of the players, including Bren as well, were at the same point, except Pack, who obviously had a really, really strong start. So I think Deska and Spam are kind of even there on the first map, so it's going to be interesting to see who can clutch it home. They only have 1 shot to do so.
Yeah, it's a sudden death round. Either you get 3rd or 4th here, and considering the standings going into this match, Deska with a 3rd place already, and Spam with a 2nd place from his match, I think Deska really needs this 3rd place to have a good shot at getting the top 8, whereas Spam can afford to get that last place because of his 2nd in the earlier round. It's going to be important for them both, of course, and Spam would happily take this 3rd.
Absolutely. He would. Like, for Spam right now, it doesn't matter if he gets 1st or 2nd. They both go into finalist mode now. Can we get a little bit of hype for the players? The 2 finalists gonna fight it out.
Here we go. Pressure's on.
The pressure is on. One last round will decide if you get 3rd or 4th here, and will decide if you get 1 or 2 points going into the next match.
And we're going to Nordland, the first map with a very tough ending as well. But already in the start, this dirt downhill, you're going to see when the warm-up ends that, I mean, we had Spam make a mistake here. We had Deska struggling a bit to get out of the starting turns. It's tough. And when you have all the pressure on, like I only get 1 chance, it's even tougher. So apart from that, the full speed section here, they should both be able to get it quite clean. And then we have that plastic section in the middle, which might decide it too.
Yeah, the plastic section in the middle where you can go really tight to the bottom, that's going to push you very far ahead if the players are going to risk it, because it can be a little risky. There is a slight corner that your back left wheel can touch, and your car is going to just bounce out. See, right here, you can see there's a little edge that the players can hit. So the closer you go to that, the more speed you're going to have, but also the more risky you're getting.
And it looks like Deska also made a mistake in the warm-up here, as he is 3 seconds behind. So That could be a bit of the nerves that we see coming through, but right now we are going to begin. Spam showing up with a great time in the warm-up. 1 minute 07 is enough to beat most players here. Can he do it again? Is it enough to beat Deska? We will find out. One last round remains of match 2. Here we go.
Final round of match 2, Spam versus Deska. Who is gonna take it home right now? The players, they start off the match very close to each other, but Spam just getting the edge over Deska right now, and he's trying to extend the lead going into this jump. Another right-handed drift. This is where Spam will shine because he has these technical capabilities, but Deska actually managing to get in front, going into the dirt section, pushing himself even further, and now Spam needs to really put on some pressure.
Yeah, but Deska has more speed. It's going to hold all the way to the uphill. Does he carry that through the turn and the jump? Gets a bit more airtime, and Spam will get closer with a lower jump onto the plastic. Spam with the best trajectory, able to go for a low line here. Deska struggling to keep that lead, but he is a 10th ahead, 1500ths before the final 2 corners. Can Deska do it here in match 2, securing 2 points? Just needs to land the final jumps. Spam's gonna try his best to keep up, but Deska has to jump, and Deska gets it.
Deska getting the 2 points ahead of Spam right here. And we have our match positions. Bren winning, Pack getting 2nd, Deska getting 3rd, and Spam with the 4th place.
But we have been absolutely blessed with some great gameplay here in the first 2 rounds. Still 2 rounds to be played, but let's now jump in to an interview with the winner.
I will jump up here and I will take a small talk here with Bren if you want to join me on stage. So we had a little bit of a shaky start coming into this match from your side, where we saw a few mistakes coming in, but you pulled it back. What made you change that mindset? What made you come back into the game?
Actually, map 3 helped me a lot. Like, I gained so many points on map 3, which made me come back on Pack, who had a really good start compared to me. And I think from there I could feel it a bit more and have the momentum to keep going and win a few rounds.
What about the last round, where it was a double finalist situation? How do you handle that? How do you feel like that went?
I really needed to win on this map, you know, like I couldn't really play on Salmon, honestly, so I was hoping to finish on this one. So I tried my best and it worked out. So
that is amazing. Can we have a huge hand here for Bren, the 2nd match winner?